Next Thursday, y'all are going to have to probably put me on suicide watch. And the reason why I say that is because this Thursday is the NFL draft. So, in the first time in God knows how many years, I don't know what the Steelers are going to pick in the first round of the draft. I have no clue. They could go wide receiver, they could go quarterback, they could go corner, they could go D line, they could fuck it all up and go kicker if they wanted to. I generally don't know what the Steelers are going to go in the first round, and I don't know if that's my excitement or my anxiety of what the Steelers are going to do, because I don't want the Steelers to fuck it all up. They have potential right now to kind of have a little bit of a nice little rebuild to work for the future, but something tells me that they have potential as well to really fumble this thing. So you really don't know what direction they're going to go. So the Steelers could really go any direction in the first round. The biggest thing that they really could go in the first round is quarterback, wide receiver, corner, and D line. They could possibly go running back, but I just don't see it. They could possibly go all line. I don't see it as well. So I want to talk about five big quarterbacks right now that the Steelers have looked at and potentially draft. So in the first round, the Steelers could potentially draft Shedeur Sanders. So Shedeur Sanders is probably one of the best quarterbacks outside of Cam Ward. I think everyone kind of knows Cam Ward's going to go in the first round. Well, and number one overall. Like everyone knows he's going to go in the first round, but I think everyone knows he's going to go be the first pick. And outside of that, everyone doesn't really know where Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart and the rest of these quarterbacks are really going to go, because the first top 10 picks, a lot of them are saying that they don't want Shedeur, which is kind of crazy because Shedeur was one of those people that went into pre-draft visits and kind of spoke his mind and how he really felt. And some organizations didn't like it, and some organizations did like it. So the Steelers could pick Shedeur Sanders at 21 if he's there. And if he is there, I would say go for it. Let's try it out. The best thing about Shedeur Sanders is his placement and accuracy. Shedeur Sanders probably has some of the best accuracy in this entire quarterback draft, I feel like. Like, no disrespect to Cam Ward, but I do think Shedeur Sanders has some of the best accuracy and placement in this draft. So if he's there at 21, I wouldn't be opposed to picking him up in the first round. Now, another quarterback that the Steelers are looking at that they could possibly pick up in the first round is Jackson Dart. Now, Jackson Dart, I feel like, is another Kenny Pickett. He had one good year in college, which, granted, wasn't really that good, if you all want me to be honest with you. I looked at some of his highlights. I looked at some of his tape. He's just not, I don't think, has that clutch factor in him, and I just don't see him working in NFL offense. He doesn't have any experience under center. He has more experience running like the pistol and running the option. And a lot of teams in the NFL don't really run that. They run a lot of like under center. Some teams will run pistol if they have a fast quarterback. I don't think Jackson Dart is really that speed. Like, this speed is really, like, blows me out of the water. His throwing ability is kind of questionable, and he's kind of a one-read wonder. So if his first read isn't there, he just takes off and runs. I would not want Jackson Dart to be taken in the first round, and if he does get taken in the first round by the Steelers, just y'all need to keep an eye on me. That's all I'm going to say. So the next quarterback in the draft that they could possibly pick is Jalen Milroe. Now, Jalen Milroe doesn't really have a first-round grade. He's more of a day 2 grade. He could be picked in the second round. He could be picked in the third. I don't know. He could be picked in the fourth. Jalen Milroe, I feel like, is a Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts combined. Like, he has potential to be an elite quarterback. He just doesn't have the throwing ability as Jalen Hurts. And Justin Fields is still working on it, but he got better last year. Everyone knows my soap opera with Justin Fields, but Jalen Milroe, his speed is what really stands out with him as being a quarterback. But outside of his speed, his throwing ability just really is questionable as well. He is essentially a project in the NFL. And if the Steelers pick him up, I just don't trust our coaching staff to really flounder him into an elite quarterback. I just don't see it. I would love for Jalen Milroe to go to a team that will work with him, have him become a better quarterback, and see what he can do, because he definitely has potential to be an elite quarterback. He's just a project, and I just don't trust the Steelers working with him and floundering him into an elite quarterback in the NFL. So if they pick him up day one, I feel bad for him just because I don't see him becoming an elite quarterback in Pittsburgh, but I could definitely see him becoming an elite quarterback on a different team. Even in the second, day two of the draft, I could see them picking up, if they don't go quarterback in the first round, picking up a quarterback in day two. I still would not say pick up Jalen Milroe, because again, he's a project, and I just don't trust the Steelers projecting him into an elite quarterback. Now, the next quarterback on the list that I want to talk about that they could potentially take is Will Howard. Now, Will Howard is kind of reminding me of a Josh Allen a little bit. And I think in the right system, he could become a Josh Allen in a few years, realistically. He is a big body, strong arm. His accuracy is there. His placement is a little questionable. But he has all the upside in the world to be an elite quarterback. His leadership is phenomenal. So I watched Will Howard take Ohio State to a national championship, win the national championship, which was fun. It was nice. And with all the talent he had around him, really showed that he can, and with the leadership ability that he has, really showed that, hey, he has potential to lead an NFL offense. And I would not be opposed to the Steelers taking him in in day two of the draft. I mean, I wouldn't waste a first-round pick on him just because a lot of teams don't have a first-round pick on him. But I would say pick him up in day two if he's there and if you haven't selected quarterback, because he has all the potential in the world to really be a Josh Allen, realistically. And he's already worked with a shitty offensive line. So if he has to work with another shitty offensive line and think on his feet, why not take him in the day two and see what he could really do with the Steelers offense, especially with DK and George Pickens? Like, you don't think how he worked with Emeka Egbuka and all the talent at wide receivers that he had at Ohio State, he wasn't able to kind of get them all on the same page? Something tells me he could probably get DK and George Pickens and Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, all those wide receivers on the same page and not lose their cool during the game, because I don't want to see DK and George Pickens be ejected in the first quarter of a game. So I feel like if they haven't picked up a quarterback, if the Steelers haven't picked up a quarterback in round one, why not look at day two and consider picking up Will Howard? I think he has more upside out of all these quarterbacks that I listed, outside of like Shedeur Sanders. I think he has a lot more upside and potential to really be a great leader and elite quarterback in the NFL. So another position that the Steelers could go is defensive line. So a lot of talks of Kenneth Grant and Derek Harmon are the biggest names that I have been hearing that the Steelers could pick. Now, if they go D-line in round one, I wouldn't be opposed to it. We definitely do need D-line help, and that's one of the biggest stress and needs that we've been praying to get or been asking to get, because our defensive line is very, very questionable, and it's getting old. Cam Hayward only has maybe like a year or two left. I would say a year, personally. He could potentially push it out to 2, but he has at most 1 year left. You got to find his replacement, and you got to find it in this draft. So if you were to pick up a defensive line in round one between Kenneth Grant and Derek Harmon, who the two names I have been hearing for day one, if I had to pick one of those two, I would pick Derek Harmon. I've seen a lot of his tape. He's strong. He's athletic. He can disrupt the run game. I feel like if you're going to pick someone, a defensive line in this first round, you have to go with Derek Harmon if he's available. If he's not, go with Kenneth Grant. He's not, he's about the same. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him, but personally, I think Derek Harmon has a little bit more of an upside compared to Kenneth Grant. And I think he's a little bit fat. Derek Harmon's a little bit faster too than Kenneth Grant, if I'm not mistaken. But if they're gonna go D line, highly recommend Derek Harmon. If they don't, couldn't go wrong with Kenneth Grant. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they approach this defensive line situation. Because if they go quarterback, who do you pick up now? Do you try to move up and go into the second round? Do you try to make a trade and move up in the first and select a quarterback and defensive tackle? Who knows? Because, like I said, for the first time in how many years, I don't know what the Steelers are going to go. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Those were my picks for defensive line, picks for quarterback. Wide receiver, I would go over my wide receiver list, but personally, chat, I don't see the Steelers picking wide receiver. And the reason why I say I don't see them picking wide receiver in day one is that they already re-signed Scotty Miller. They got DK Metcalf. I don't see them trading away George Pickens. I know there's rumors that they were thinking about trading him. And personally, I just don't see them trading him. Not to mention you also have Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson. And I think they're really high on Roman Wilson to see what he has because he was out all season. So they're kind of interested to see what they have with a full, healthy Roman Wilson, see what he can actually do. So I just don't see them picking wide receiver in the first round. I don't even see them picking the wide receiver in day 2. I think they're going to pick a wide receiver later on in day 3. Wide receiver class is deep this year, chat. So realistically, if they're going to pick up a wide receiver, I think they're going to pick a wide receiver late in the draft. Same goes for running back. I think running back's a little bit deep this year as well. I don't see them picking one up in round 1. I feel like they pick one up in day 2, maybe day 3. Honestly, I could see them not picking up a running back at all and going in free agency and signing Nick Chubb or J.K. Dobbins. And I would not be opposed to any of those 2 running backs coming to Pittsburgh. So, I think outside of wide receiver, running back, defensive line, quarterback, I think D-line and quarterback are the biggest round ones that the Steelers need to pay attention to, and Steeler fans in general need to pay attention to, because something tells me that's the way the Steelers are going to go, but they could really do a complete 360 and pick a different position than what we expected. So it's going to be interesting to see how this NFL draft plays out and see how the Steelers pick this year. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. I'm looking forward to see what the NFL draft holds. I'm looking forward to see who the Steelers select, and it should be fun, should be entertaining. Now, if y'all want me to do a mock draft, I probably won't do one because it's already so close to the draft, but maybe next year I'll do a mock draft. I just was not a big fan of mock drafts. Literally outside of round 1, 2, and 3, I don't really pay attention to really anyone else, just because all the talent is literally combined into round 1, 2s, and 3s, personally. So outside of round 3, I don't really pay attention, so I wouldn't know who I would pick when I start round 4, 5, and 6, and 7. But maybe we could talk about doing one and next year and seeing how it goes, see how it plays out. But I just wanted to come on, talk about the Steelers draft and see, let you guys know my feelings and thoughts on it. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. And y'all keep an eye on your boy for next Thursday, because it could be a long day, chat. It could be a long day. But I appreciate you guys. Love you guys for checking out the video. Y'all stay safe out there. Drink plenty of water. Hopefully I was able to make your day a little bit better. Peace out, y'all.